Well, once again, welcome to the sixth qualifier. Before we start, a huge thank you to IIM Calcutta Innovation Park, who have been our knowledge partners on this journey. Right at the start, they conducted three wonderful masterclasses, and I can see from the presentations that we have seen so far that those masterclasses have really helped our students frame their business plans and present their ideas better. We also must thank our sponsors. We have BSNL as our gold sponsor, the Webel Fujisoft Vara Center of Excellence, and Logdhun as our associate sponsors, and the SKC LNCT Group of Colleges as our prize sponsor. Today's qualifier, the sixth qualifier, is between the Global Indian International School Singapore and the KR Mangalam World School in Vaishali. Well, I say between, but in reality, they are fighting for a spot in the top 24 birds of 64 schools who are part of this contest. Also, a huge thank you to both our judges for sparing their valuable time to be here today. We are privileged to have with us today Mr. Kaustav Majumdar, an advanced degree on leadership, strategy, and social psychology from the London Business School and a computer science degree from the University of Southampton. Kaustav has 23 years of experience and a long list of professional achievements tagged to his name, including one in psychometrics from the University of Cambridge. His current engagements include startups and incubation at SP Jain Institute of Management and Research, Mumbai, mentor and advisor for innovation at the NSHM Knowledge Campus in Kolkata, director strategies at Data Science Foundation, the world's largest data science ecosystem, and director at ILS Network, a boutique consulting house with interest across industries and in different parts of the world. He is also the director at SC Art, a bleeding edge virtual reality company redefining visualization in India. He's a consultant at Swayam Shikshan Prayog Pune, advisor in a number of exciting startups, of which some are not startups anymore, like Sundew Solutions, UFO Olympiad, E-Intelligence, Orbiting, Y East. Kostev has taught more than 35,000 students all over the world and is a well-known counselor, interview skills trainer, and advisor to young adults in more than 12 countries. He is a mentor, guide, and advisor to young businesses. His current interests are in virtual reality, AI, and traditional opportunities like education technology, healthcare, especially senior citizen care, tourism, which include adventure and offbeat tourism, and business process outsourcing. His personal interests include writing, and one of his stories has been recently made into a movie and is currently streaming on Z5. He himself is an avid cricketer and plays for teams in India and the UK. He loves the mountains and feels self-defense and emergency care should be made mandatory for children in schools. He currently stays between London, Singapore, and India. Sir, thank you so much for taking the time out to be part of the event today. We are privileged to have you here. We also have with us today Mr. Arijit Bhattacharya, who has been a serial entrepreneur since 1998. He is a technologist, an angel investor, a public speaker, a business matchmaking expert, a government advisor, an artist, an author, a community builder, a game programmer, a virtual reality specialist, an AI evangelist, blockchain specialist, and a globetrotter, having traveled to over 90 countries. He has 2 decades of experience in finance and technology. He's himself a technologist artist and a comic storyteller and a superhero creator with a rare combination of finance and digital banking. He's a technologist who develops and builds AI and ML solutions and works on virtual reality, machine learning, game development, and digital banking solutions. He made Digital Human from real actor and models from India in 2007 onwards for his own game titles and VR games. He converted more than 275 celebrities as 3D game characters as superheroes. He is the consultant to multiple small and medium enterprises and MSMEs for their scale up and growth, cross-country expansion, and helps scale their businesses up. As an active mentor and consultant, he helped thousands of startups to grow. As a teacher, he trained over 5,000 students in his own institute on technology, animation, and IT. And as a visiting faculty, he has also trained thousands of students in digital marketing, entrepreneurship, and management. He is the founder and CEO of Virtual Infocom, India's one of the first game development and deep tech company solutions since 1998. He is also the founder of World Leader Summit, one of the world's largest leadership summit networks and international business clubs with more than 95 countries as the member. He is a startup mentor and a board member with multiple startups across India, Singapore, US, China, and Russia. Once again, Mr. Bhattacharya and Mr. Majumdar, we are privileged that you have spared your time today for this event. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Shubhayu. Thank you so much.
You're
Lovely
welcome,
meeting you, Arijit. Very good to see you.
Good to see you too, Gustav. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Now that we have met our judges, a little bit about us. We at Notebook are an edtech company. We make small videos pertaining to your school curriculum. And here is one of the ways in which we make your life easier. So that's what we try to do at Notebook. We try to remove the need to run across fields to get to your tuition classes. Well, on to the job at hand. Today is the sixth qualifier. If I may request all the participants to please switch on your cameras, we would love to know you better before we start. Well, I can see the team from Global Indian International School, Singapore is here. The team from KR Mangalam World School, Vaishali, if you could also switch on your cameras. Pratyush, we would love to know more about you guys. Do tell us which classes you're studying in, your interests, and especially your hobbies outside of school and entrepreneurship. If we may start with you.
Good afternoon. My name is Pratyush. So we study at Global Indian International School, Singapore. We are currently in IB Year 1, which is 11th grade. And this is a very exciting competition to be a part of. We are certainly interested in both the business aspect of things and the innovation aspect of things. And it is really, this is really a great opportunity to go ahead and study. Personally, I'm interested in coding related and tech related activities. Yeah, I also, I enjoy sports like football, I play cricket, and I also play the drums.
Wonderful, Pratyush. Thank you so much for being here. Could the other team members also introduce themselves one by one?
My name is Vishmaya, and I'm in IB Year 1, which is 11th grade. And my interests are mainly stuff that are usually debate related or Model United Nations. And I also love a lot of entrepreneur events like these and try to participate in as many as I can. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity that the Ignite has given us to be a part of this event. And I enjoy watching sports more than playing them, like Major League Basketball. And yeah.
I'm Praneeth. I'm also in IB Year 1, which is the equivalent of 11th grade. And my interests are mainly in technology. I like programming and I like playing the guitar. I also play cricket and badminton. Besides sports and programming, my interests are in reading. I like reading to gain knowledge. And those are my interests.
My name is Rahul, and I am also in IBO 1, which is grade 11. I like coding and playing tennis, and I'm so glad to be a part of this event.
My name is Rakame. I'm also in IBO 1, which is 11th grade, as I said before. I like sports like tennis and cricket, and I also like the sciences, especially biology and coding, apart from outside of entrepreneurship.
Wonderful. Thank you, the team from Global Indian International School, Singapore. If you can get across to the school from Vaishali, the KR Mangalam World School, Vaishali. Please introduce yourself, guys.
Good afternoon. My name is Arshita. I'm from KR Mangalam World School, Vaishali, and I like playing badminton and reading books. And I do this for the purpose of my entertainment.
Good afternoon. My name is Divyanshi. I am from IIM Vaishali, and I basically enjoy the entrepreneurs' activities and reading books. And I'm really grateful to Ignite for providing this opportunity to us.
Well, I think some more team members of the KR Mangalam World School team have just joined in. Guys, could we have a quick round of introductions? If you can tell us which class you're in, what are your interests, especially your hobbies outside of school?
Good morning, everybody. This is Jia Singh of Mangalam World School Vaishali. I am a student of class 11th. I'm very keen towards business and technology. Besides from what's going on in the school, that's all I would like to say.
Wonderful, Gia. If you could also switch on your cameras, guys, we would love to know you better. Anjanya, could you go next?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anjan. I am from Vaishali. I have a great interest in science and I really want to work for mental health, and I also enjoy playing sports, especially cricket.
Wonderful. Who else is left from your team? Arihant?
Hello. Yes, I have a lot interest in political science and economics, and I would love to give an exam for UPSC. And I have a lot of interest in playing table tennis. And yes.
Great. One small request though, I understand you have your cameras off now, but when your team is presenting, we would request all the cameras to be on, please. All right. Great.
Sure, sir.
So good to know you guys. Now that we have met the teams, it is time to start. The team from Global Indian International School. If you could please tell me who of you would be presenting, then I would give you the sharing rights if you don't already have it.
Rahul Rajkumar will be presenting.
Yeah, I'll be presenting.
Great. Rahul, could you just try sharing your screen once?
Yeah, can you see it?
Great. We can see your screen. So the team from Global Indian International School, Singapore, if you are ready to present, we will start your time for 7 minutes on the clock now.
Good day, everyone. Imagine you've just started university abroad, watching the Olympics in solitude in your dorm room because of the pandemic, munching on some ready-made popcorn, but you're craving your mother's food and you don't know how to make it because we've had our heads buried on the books for all these years. How much nicer would it be to have a friend or family to watch the game?
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if it's me or not. I cannot hear you, Rahul.
Am I audible now?
Mr. Majumdar, we can hear him clearly. Can you hear me?
Could be me, Shubhayu. Can you guys hear?
We can hear you clearly. We can also hear Rahul, but can you hear me when I'm speaking?
I'm so sorry. It must have been my system. I'm so sorry. Please
No
carry
worries.
on.
No
It's
worries.
working. It's working now.
Rahul, we would reset the time, right?
All right. Sorry,
Because
buddy. Sorry, Rahul. We'll start again. Apologies.
Not a problem at all, sir. We know how technology behaves at times. Rahul, all the best again. And we will start your 7 minutes now.
Good day, everyone. Imagine you've just started university abroad. You're watching the Olympics in solitude in your dorm room because of the pandemic, and you're munching on some ready-made popcorn. But you're craving your mother's food and you don't know how to make it because we've had our heads buried on the books for all these years. How much nicer would it be to have a friend or family to watch the games with? And how about some homemade food that you would love? And wouldn't it be nice to just be able to talk to someone when you need to? Someone who can give you advice and someone who can guide you with stuff you're not familiar with in the new country. Listen to your problems perhaps, or even a mentor. Each year, 14 million people experience these challenges of being alone when they are abroad. And believe us, this could even be you, me, or our kith and kin. And what if we said that we have come up with a great solution to this problem that all of you can use, or at least the first step to solve it? Here goes our unique and innovative application that you can use, made for people just like you and me, not just with our knowledge and skills, but with our passion to combat this exact same problem, to help you feel at home away from home.
Students often move abroad to pursue education. However, the problem that they often face is that they find it difficult to connect to the culture, familiarity, and family back home, so they feel alienated in the countries they reside in. To address this problem, we conducted a market survey, and based on that, we built the character persona John. We identified his characteristics, and using this, we narrowed down on the target of our solution. We decided to build a web app which had two main features. The first one was a connection feature to connect students with each other. For example, they can sell homemade food. This is an excellent method to combat loneliness. The other feature we included was a mentorship feature. This connects students with those who can help them solve their problems, and advice for important problems, just finding part-time jobs, can be invaluable when you're in university.
As you can see here, there is a huge untapped market potential, which our app definitely fulfills. Currently, our app is aiming for the Singaporean market, in which almost 24,000 students are studying abroad. However, this is just the beginning. When we look worldwide, more than 4 million undergraduate students are currently learning abroad. If we combine all our target audiences, including parents of these students, this number comes to more than 12 million. Furthermore, this number is increasing rapidly by approximately 12% each year. Even if we control a small part of this market, this is a huge number of customers which will contribute largely to our revenue.
Now, considering the fact that our operation costs are so low, we can afford to spend more of our revenue on marketing. We have decided to use above the line and below the line marketing strategies and have segregated our markets into two major channels, physical and virtual. Posting ads on bus stop stands. Over 90% of the population sees a bus stop ad each week. The sheer level of bus stop exposure to bus stop stands is seriously an appealing argument to make use of them. Partnerships with career counseling centers and educational institutions that assist in the application process. These give options to students to adapt to the new surrounding in a better way. Getting exposure to adverts and SEOs would catch the attention of the consumer with either a catchy jingle or video. Thus, we'll be able to enforce our app in a more persuasive way, using social media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Now, considering that these ads will pop up on different users based on their web activity, more students who are moving abroad will be able to get to know more about our app and may want to try it out.
One of our main competitors is a tech giant which dominates a majority of the social media market, Facebook. However, when it comes to our niche market, we certainly hold the higher ground. Firstly, our app is more appealing to university students due to its confidentiality and additional privacy. It especially appeals more to introverts, as the user is not forced to speak out to a group. Rather, he or she can directly contact the individual they wish to communicate with. Our app users also have a greater monetary incentive to help out. Lastly, our app covers a very specific audience and thus feels more personal and homely for parents and students alike.
To survive, every business has to make money, and our business is no different. Paid versions of the app provide a small part of the income, and they include features such as special appointments, discounts on our purchases, ad removal, subscriptions to news and blogs that provide information on the place you live in, access to exclusive events, and many more enticing features for our users. It starts from just $15 a month, which is just as cheap as a Starbucks coffee. Then we have in-app purchases and a trading system between students and other users, in which we take a 10 to 15% commission on the items that are purchased or sold, whether they're goods or services. We will also have partnerships with other companies like career counseling institutes, F&B companies, and even freelancing professionals, where we share the money earned by users who purchase the service or goods. Lastly, ads. Unlike Facebook, which has ads all over the website, we will have a few non-interrupting ads and pop-up ads once every user visits in order to not annoy the users away.
So how does our app change the lives of almost 50 million people every year? It solves a problem faced by millions of students around the world, loneliness, by bringing them all together. It makes many services more convenient by bringing them all together in one place. It positively impacts universities as well because most students will be willing to travel abroad. This improves the diversity in the classroom. It helps out our partner career counseling institutes since they don't need to reach out to their audience on their own. And it provides a platform for people who home cook to make some extra money.
Our team consists of 6 members, but due to constraints on the number of speakers, one of them wasn't able to speak today. Akshaya was in charge of creating the presentation and devising the market strategy. Pratyush and Praneeth conducted the market research and survey analysis. The identification of the problem was done by Rahul. I, Prakamya, came up with a revenue model. Vishnu Maya took up the task of identifying our competition. And Praneeth, Pratyush, Rahul, and myself developed the app. So, what are you waiting for? Visit the following link to meet your digital buddy.
Well done, team from Global Indian International School. At 6 minutes 47 seconds, must say very well timed, if not anything else. And the presentation also, quite mind-blowing. Let's see how impressed the judges are with you. I would now invite both the judges to please ask the team any questions that you have. We have kept 6 minutes for the questions. Mr. Bhattacharya, Mr. Majumdar, over to you.
Beautiful presentation, guys. Really loved it. So whose idea is this? Is it a team idea or somebody from your teammate who actually got this idea and others are executing it?
It's a collective team idea that we created.
Beautiful. Any sort of idea that you have that how will you actually execute it in the market?
Okay, so essentially what the app would be doing is we would launch the app on the Play Store and the App Store, where people, mostly those who are studying abroad, will be able to download it. Now, the entire app focuses on the feeling of basically the idea of people being homesick when they leave. So what the app is engineered to do is make sure that they have the resources where they're able to connect the people in part of their own community, so that they won't feel as homesick and will be able to focus on other aspects of academics rather than just sulking about the fact that they don't have people of their own community. So we have ideas of people, like one of the challenges that people face is cooking, since at least honestly speaking, as students, we have our head buried in the book half of the time to get to the university we want. So we don't really pay attention in the kitchen unless it's for coffee. So essentially that way, we basically have an idea that people can home cook food and sell it on the app. So students can come on the app and filter as to what food they want, if it's any specific kind of cuisine, so that they can get whatever they want immediately. It also connects with career counseling institution and educational institution. So if their parents want there and they need some advice on career counseling, they can still connect through the app to people who'd be able to explain it to them in a better way. With the app, with the premium membership, they would get, you have to pay $15 per month. You would get a huge discount on career counseling that is usually pretty expensive per hour. If they charge per the hour or per the visit. So by paying $15, you might get 50 to 80% off the career counseling sessions. And a lot of other benefits with the app that may be discount in food or any other aspects that we might create.
Super.
Well done, guys. Excellent. It's obviously a much need of the hour. I have studied abroad all my life, and I wish there was an app like this when I went for my undergraduate engineering. Of course, when I went for my undergraduate engineering, there was nothing called an app. Explains my white hair. But I do appreciate and understand that students can get very lonely, especially in international, when they're international students. I also agree that food is a massive challenge. Career counseling itself, people don't know where to go to. And if there's a way people can make money, because money is always hard to come by, especially when you're a student. Selling food on the like a student selling to another one is actually a pretty cool idea. I've seen similar products. None of them are very good. In the last few years that I was in London, we spent a lot of time looking at similar things. None of them are very good. And I think they're not very good because they're not made by students. So I think people like you, if you make it, you are the customer yourself. So you will possibly, and if I make it, I just won't be able to empathize. So I've got 2-3 questions. Question number 1 is in a little bit of an extension, I believe what Arijit kind of asked. What would be the first 3 or 4 or 5 things you would do if this was to be a real business? Assume this for a second. This seems like a good plan. Of course, there is a lot more detailing that needs to be done. We understand that. But maan lijiye, you're going to go ahead and do this. Okay. What would be the first 3 or 4 or 5 things you should do? How will you sort of get the ball rolling? How will you put, get into the action of it? This is question 1. Question 2. I would like to see the revenue page once more. How are you going to make money? I haven't understood it. Okay, that's question 2. And question 3, I'm still trying to figure out how will you reach out to all these thousands and thousands of students? How will they know that you exist? All of you have got tons of apps on your phone. How did you sort of hear about them? Nobody has time to just go through the millions of apps on App Store and look for something. How will they know about you? Bus advertisement is something that I understood. Is there anything else that you could carry on? 3 questions.
So I'd like to answer the first question, the third question regarding the how will it reach the students. So essentially how, at least from my personal experience, I have found many career counseling and SAT prep websites or tuition centers through Instagram, through YouTube, through Twitter, because essentially, as we all know, all of our web activity is being monitored. So we get the ads based on what web activity. So students, I assume, who are moving abroad will be mostly searching on, giving an example of if they were going to London, or if they were pursuing, let's say, law, for example. So they would be first searching up, suppose if it's Cambridge, how different tuition centers or different educational institutions that provide training for the interview, training for the LNAT, training for the SAT. So based on that, our app will basically, once we generate the advertisements, the app will basically go to those students specifically who searched these some things along these lines. So it would be catered specifically for people who are going abroad. So based on that, it would be pretty easy for them to receive it, especially for saying from my personal experience, I've got tons and tons of ads this year, specifically from SAT prep websites, interview prep websites, LNAT prep websites, because I've been researching about these more. So the same would go for people who are moving abroad. It would just pop up on their ad screen based on web activity.
And to add on to that, the second way of marketing it's also an important one. It is through educational institutes and universities. So we are going to partner up with them. First, we can start with our school and spread it to the students in our school, so they will know about this app. And after they find out about how you, yes.
Pratyush, quick interjection, quick follow-up question. You're going to partner with these schools. Why will they partner with you? What's in them? I have understood how you're going to benefit. Why will the schools partner with you? I mean, why will they bother?
Okay, because see, so what we're doing is we are giving lots of opportunities for their students. We are going to help them so much, because when they go to university, as we stated, they find it very hard to like all the basic needs which they got so easily at home. They're not going to be able to get it in the universities. And if schools have a feature, are partnering with us, and they will be able to give it to their students, this will certainly improve the marketing for them as well.
If I could add on to what Pratyush said, essentially it would make sure that their academics is not being hindered when they're going abroad. Their parents aren't there to supervise them. So the school would want all the more support from people, from apps like these that would provide that support that they won't be able to give, obviously, unless they're moving along with the children.
That's a crafty, devious answer. You're very well done. You're saying that the academics are not going to be hindered, and hence the schools are incentivized to sort of help the students concentrate on studies. As if you guys are going to go abroad and only study. That's fine. I get that. Good points. Quickly, revenue, if you could just tell me.
And one more thing,
Yes.
when we mention school, we also mean universities.
Of course.
We're talking about educational institutions.
I understand. Okay. Revenues.
Yeah. So the first thing is ads. So what happens when you open up the page and I see an ad? Now, every time a person sees that ad, we get a very small amount of money. That's roughly, and you can see the rate. You have to see the ad 1,000 times and you get just $18. However, the number of times the user will see that ad while using our app, and since it's counted that every 30 minutes, even if you just see the same ad, it's counted as a visit, as a new visit, which means that let's say, I am on the app for 4 hours, so that'll be 4 divided by that'll be 8 times I'll be seeing the same thing. And not just me, but maybe hundreds or thousands or millions of other students around the world as well at the exact same time, seeing maybe the exact same ad, maybe a different ad. So that's how the ads work. Then the premium version, it sounds costly, $15 a month. You see, let's say Amazon Prime has, if I'm not wrong, $3-4 a month subscriptions. But $15 a month and the features that we are giving them, huge discounts on lots of things. It's really worth it. However, for us, $15 is a sort of ideal price that it's not too high that people won't pay for it. It's not too low that a lot of people pay for it and we end up making a loss because of all the discounts. And yeah, so it's an ideal price that I've calculated. Then the partnerships, for example, as the business, I can partner with a career counseling company. And so let's say someone makes an appointment for 2 hours, they pay $200, we can split the money, $100 to us, $100 to them. Same for food companies, merchandise companies, and freelancers. Obviously, you'll have to prove, for a freelancer, you'll have to prove first that you're qualified to do this job. Then in our purchases, I mentioned the student trading system. What that does is that as a student, let's say I have an old textbook and I just want to make some money and sell. I can sell it through the app, let's say for $50. Someone else buys it. Now 10% of that $50 goes to the company, which is $5. Doesn't sound like much, but given the rate at which students will be buying things from this app, it turns out to be a lot of
money. Okay. You don't have to answer the first question. What are the first few steps? I think I've got my answer. I'm happy with if you have
Wonderful. So if the judges are happy with the answers they've received, if I could please ask them to put in the scores in the scoring sheet. I hope both of you have the links. Team from GIS, very well done. The judges seem suitably impressed. Let's see what the audience thinks. Audience, this is where you come in. You get to have your say as well. The judges will rate the team out of 100, but 20 points are reserved for audience polls. What you would see on your screen right now is a poll that will come up for the team's performance. You can rate them a 5 on 20, 10 on 20, 15 on 20, or 20 on 20, right? So grab your voting pads. Let's see how you rate Global Indian International School, Singapore. You will have 90 seconds to cast your vote. It's not a lot of time, so get voting. We are about 40 seconds in and 74% of people have voted. One minute up, just 30 more seconds. If you're still wondering if you should support this team or not, there are 4 options: 5 on 20, 10 on 20, 15 on 20, and 20 on 20.
Excuse me, judges, I am unable to choose an option amongst. As in, whenever I click on an option, it does not get selected.
Gia, you should not be getting the option. This is only for the audience. The panelists don't get to vote. And that's 90 seconds. We have this polls in. Thank you so much, audience. Thank you, the team from GIS Singapore. Mr. Bhattacharya, I have your scores. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Majumdar, whenever you're done with this course, just let us know.
Shuvayu, is it necessary for me to give the marks right now, or can I give it after I've seen the other group as well?
So you can give it even after seeing the other group, but must remind you,
Okay,
these two teams are not competing amongst themselves. They are competing with a larger set of 64 schools.
Oh, then it's okay. Then I'll give it right now. Okay.
Thank you.
Stay
Thank you
with
so
me.
much.
For 30 seconds, I'll do that.
I can see it's only 2 schools, Shuvayu.
Yes, today's round has 2 schools.
Okay.
But the overall event has 64 schools. There'll be 16 of these qualifiers, and the schools get their absolute scores. The final top 24 on the leaderboard move on to the semifinals.
Friends from Singapore, you guys did fantastic. I can see all of you are going to become like Elon Musk, make tons and tons of money. I wish you all the very best. May God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. And after you fly into space, do remember us. Time to invite the team from KR Mangalam World School, Vaishali. Our team from GIS, you can switch off your cameras. Thank you so much and congratulations. Team from KR Mangalam World School, Vaishali, could you please switch on your cameras? Who in the team would be sharing the presentation?
I will share.
I've given you sharing rights. If you can just try it once.
Shuvayu, if you can ignore my computer science background, because my daughter, who's 8, knows more computers than I do. Can you confirm that you can see the marks that I have for the early?
Yes, sir. I've received them. Thank you so much.
Super. Thank you. Good to go.
Anjana, we don't see your screen yet.
I'm trying.
Yep, we can see your screen now. Let me know when you are ready to present.
Yes, sir, we are good to go.
Great. So team from KR Mangalam World School, Vaishali, all the best. Your time for 7 minutes present starts now.
Good afternoon, my fellow mates and my judges. Today, I, with my group, is going to present our business model and our business plan. But just before I start and just before I tell you more about it, I want to raise a question in front of you that why do we wear a smartwatch? Like, what is the need? So it can be it can have many reasons, but yes, it can be like it shows weather, it shows some steps, it shows us the normal time, it shows some climate, it's and some even have some Bluetooth connectivity which help us to make on and off of the music. But do you think it's really enough? Like, is it enough that it occupies everything that it can be? I don't think so. So here we are going to present a model naming Seguro, which is a blast. I would suggest it was a blast. Why? You will know it.
Guys, if one of you is speaking, we can't hear you.
Yes, sir, it's Divyanshi's turn, and she's not
So
able
actually, I
to.
think the PPT is stuck. It's not going to the next slide. I think there's some issue in the PPT.
We'll
The
just,
connection. So
if it's okay with the judges, I'm stopping the time. We will let the team get their technical snags sorted out and restart.
No problems.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Team from KR Mangalam World School, why don't we do a quick test run and then we can do a start.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I must confess to both the judges that when we started this, we had clearly underestimated the ability for young children to think out innovative solutions to real world problems. If the last 6 events are anything to go by, they have blown our minds with the kind of problem solving attitude more than anything else.
Shubha, I can assure you, if you let some of these children run the countries that we live in, they possibly will be better places to live.
Yes, unfortunately, the Constitution sets a lower limit to get into the Constitution. I think it's time we look at an upper limit fairly low. If the team is ready.
Very well said.
Just a word of advice. Are you using a mobile to present from?
No, sir.
No, sir. I think he is using a laptop.
You're on a laptop, right?
Yes, sir.
Great.
My screen is visible, right?
Yeah, I can see your screen. You are on a slide that's titled because.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a word of advice. Once you control the zoom, mute, unmute, or anything, right? Hit the Alt tab once so that you go back to the presentation screen. Otherwise, the down arrow won't work.
Okay.
Right? Good. So, team from KR Mangalam World School, Vaishali, all the best once again. Do you want to go back to the first slide and so that I can start your time?
First slide, okay.
Up to you, wherever you want to start from, but we are starting your time from 0 and we would request you to start your presentation afresh.
Okay.
All right. Guys, if you're ready, your time for 7 minutes starts now.
Good afternoon, judges and my fellow mates. Today, I, from KR Mangalam Vaishali, is going to present a business model and a business plan. Just before I start, I want to raise a question in front of you that why do we wear a smartwatch? Like, what are its needs? Yes, we wear a smartwatch because it shows time, of course, and it shows climate, it shows step for some gym freaks, and it even has some Bluetooth connectivity that can help in music on and off, and even some heart rate, which is a basic. But do you think it's enough? I don't think so. After you listen our plan, I think it's going to blast. So here we come with a plan naming our model Seguro, which is a Spanish term of safety.
I would like to make you aware about the problems that our watch is projected to solve. These days, a large number of people are suffering from depression and anxiety. Also, there are situations in which a person finds him or her unsafe and are seeking for an immediate help. These situations and mental health issues are also creating a lost productivity of $1 trillion in the global economy each year. Also, the population-based study from India shows that the prevalence of depression was 15%. Over that, India is home to an estimated 57 million people who are affected by depression. This calls a need for something that needs to be looked on, and our watch will surely provide a safety for that because we can carry it everywhere we want to.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. So I'll be shortly addressing the solutions to our security watch. So a few questions might be whirling in your inquisitive minds. What makes the watch different from our competitors in the market? Well, it might share a few technology from others, but it isn't a beaten path. It acts as a punisher to major concerns, either a private or social discords, stroking out mental health and safety. The topics are like chalk and cheese. Yes, that's what describes its nature of versatility. If we talk about women working late at night and face any issues, what about their safety? How do we approach them for help? Well, our watch has 3 buttons that might help you with it might send your nearest police station as well as your family members. This will also mitigate the number of bounty crimes across the country. This will also act as a dogmatic of a product. Mental disorders to solution can be rectified, and you can even contact a psychiatrist 24/7 who can assist you. This will help a lot of users to cope up with mental changes around the niche. Also, it has commendable performances with its hood up, their choice. This watch will also have other features of phone and can connect to your phone whenever you want to. It also alerts you beforehand. If the roads are blocked further, then you can get a routine break of all the things. This might ease your work. Also, it has a bot feature which allows you to talk to the watch. And the benefit is that it comes in almost all the languages, so you don't need to bother about it.
Excuse me, judges, the PPT is froze again and it's not going ahead.
Could you just hit Alt Tab once? Yeah, I think it's moving now, right?
I guess there are some network glitches. The text is invisible, right?
Yeah, the text is invisible. But I doubt if it's a network issue. I have paused the time. Anjanya, could you just quickly cycle through the slides once? I think the slides are changing fine. My guess is, was the PPT mailed from some one person to another person? Because Microsoft has this habit of changing fonts.
We made it from that SharePoint.
No worries. I'm sure the judges are concentrating more on what you say than just what you have on the screen, right? So if you're okay, can we proceed, or would you want to take some time, regroup?
We can proceed, no problem.
We can
proceed. Maybe they can download this into a PPT format and just try and run it from a PPT instead of running it from their SharePoint portal.
Yes, that sounds like a very good idea, sir. Anjanya, can you try doing that?
Okay.
See if you can download it to any one of your local computers first. There must be a mechanism, there must be a way for it to come down as a PDF, if not a PPT, and then share screen from one of your local computers.
Anjali, stop sharing.
Don't run it as a shared service amongst 4 or 5 of you. Any one of you share it, and others just keeps on. That's it. That should be. Don't. Yeah, should work.
Is my screen visible now?
Yes, it is.
It's working. Cool.
But I think you are still facing the same problem where part of your text is not visible.
Yeah.
Ashita, you can continue, I guess. The point
Correct.
is it's taking time for showing the text, I guess.
I was done with my content.
Don't worry. I still have your time on pause. You've done about 3 minutes, 50 seconds. We still have a little over 3 minutes left. And you can pick up exactly where you left off. Just get comfortable in the format that you're working with. Can we start?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Your time gets restarted now.
So the main concern is about the safety, mental health, So you'll be getting a psychiatrist with this watch, who will be provided and assisted to you for 24/7, and it will also be taking care of the mental health around your niche. Another thing is that it will be like a phone to you, and you can it has a bot feature which will help you to talk to it, and there's no problem with the languages also, because it knows almost all the languages, so it won't bother much. And these are the features that will be one of the revolutionary ones.
Yeah, you'd have to unmute yourself, please.
I'm so sorry for the glitch. Marketing strategy. The question here is, how are we making a difference? Everybody has a marketing strategy, but how do we make ours stand out? Or how well does it work for our enterprise? Our strategy focuses on both offline as well as digital marketing. In both of them, we promise a customer a word of mouth. In case of offline marketing, small-scale exhibitions for our distributors would be organized so as to give them the pleasure of our product and coax them to distribute our watch. We would also set up a branded retail shop for the further convenience of the customers. When it comes to digital marketing, a full-fledged digital app of our brand will be introduced for the convenience of our customers, which would offer an option to buy the products available online. Social media as a platform would also help us to build our brand and spread its scale of productivity. We would also market our product using UGC, which is the user-generated content that would enable our customers to create his or her own band design. They can customize the size and the design of the band as per their own choice. I mean, who wouldn't like to create or customize their watch brand?
We are not only there in this market presenting a new watch or something like it's not that unique, we know, but the features and its components are not the same. It may be like a normal crystal in the room, but diamond reflects the most rays. So here, our features are not the same as others. Yes, there are chances that a product might not be liked at the first place at its new in society, but me and my team is sure that it will storm one notice.
Now let us know about the revenue model that we have adopted for our company. We sell our watches at rupees 3,000 per piece. While selling, we try to cut down on the cost as much as possible to make it feasible for our customers to buy our product. Also, at a limited price, we are trying to provide the best possible quality. It is also durable and customer friendly. We also have a collaboration with the IT companies. The target customers are basically the athletes, travelers, and the other people. We provided watches in different styles, features, enabling all the age groups to use them, and we have made it unique from our competitors. We can get our revenue from direct sales or can receive a commission and could get a commission fee as well.
Impact of Segura. How does it benefit everybody? Just as its name Segura, which is safe in Spanish, our watch promises safety at its utmost sense. The feature it offers not only positively impacts the user's life but also enhances the living standards of its user. Segura also focuses on better mental health and physical being and hence help in building a healthy society and an efficient workforce. Our watch also promises women and actually human safety, which enables them to travel and work safely. Our watch being thoroughly
That's
smart
7 minutes, guys.
Our watch being thoroughly smart also allows its users to roam freely without worrying to carry their phone. I mean, who does not need such a, what do you say, a fit watch to wear?
Talking about the feedback and the conclusion. Well, it will be a revolutionary one, staggering and change your perspective towards the fashion and trend. Also, it is judicious with major concerns all over the world. We also bring to the fore its affordability and underlying benefits. We all hope that you will be addressing our ideas and anticipate that it snowballs.
I think the team is a little over 7 minutes, but given the technical glitches, if the judges are okay with it, they are about 25 seconds over time. I think we can give them that.
That's fine. That's fine.
Perfect. So I think the idea was well communicated. Technical glitches are part of the tech world that we live in. This Zoom platform has made "sorry, you're on mute" the most commonly uttered sentence in the last 18 months. So don't worry too much about it. I will now leave it to the judges for 6 minutes to ask you their questions. Over to you, sirs.
You know, I'm just very impressed with the fact that our young friends did not give up or give in to the technology challenges. I think that's very important. It can happen to all of us. I'm a professor. It happens to me every day. It happens to my students. It happens to all of us. But what's important is that we pick ourselves up and continue. And you did that. Kudos for that. So I appreciate that. I think it was a very, very well communicated and very interesting project. I think it's also much needed. I think to have the number of people having, I have a smartwatch myself. I think most of us do nowadays. To have something which can potentially save lives. I appreciate the thought behind it. My one big question, maybe it was there in your presentation, it might be that I might have missed it, but what I didn't understand is how will the watches communicate, say to the nearest police station or to a counselor? How will the watches do that? Will it use your phone to dial? Or how will it sort of send an SOS out there for people to come and help you? How will that happen? What's your thought?
So for that, there's a special button, and you need to just press it thrice, and it will send, like it has a GPS, and then it will send the location to
So
each one of your.
big question is, let's assume there's a button and all of that, that the watches need to have some sort of it needs to be able to get onto a network and make a call, right? How will the watches, GPS is just a positioning, right? It's just a coordinate. It cannot make a call. It cannot do anything. It just sends a signal. It just says that I'm here. So it's like a map make flag, right? Like for example, the building that you live in perhaps is there on Google Maps. It doesn't mean the building will give you the call. So you would need something for the watch to be able to make that distress call. It's actually a phenomenally good idea. I don't know whether Arjit feels. I think it's I wouldn't be surprised if people are working on this, but it'll be curious. So that means the watches need to have some sort of needs to have like a SIM card or something of that nature, or the watches need to use the phone.
So it will have a chip kind of thing, and then there will be a proper call. Like when you buy that watch, then it will ask at the introduction time your phone number, which you need to save so that you can call them in emergency time. And whenever you will press that button, it will send it to the nearest police station, and either to your family member, or also make a phone call to your family member if you are in a problem. So we need to take it as a concern of safety.
So that is where the difference that we are making comes in. As in every watch, probably like the watch I carry also has an SOS button. But how do our watch make a difference? So we'll have an SOS button. We'll have a separate app for that. Like when you'll be installing the app, it would be connected to your phone for a certain time, because then you'll be entering your details. So in case of emergency, because it is a human safe watch, it does not focus upon any specific gender, the person would have to click that SOS button 3 times for the security issues, and then that watch would communicate to the nearest police station or nearest any security agency. The person who is wearing the watch, the user who is in current problem, would also have the facility of tracking the police jeeps or how far they are, so that the person is assured of its safety. That's our vision.
Very cool.
Answer. Reason for its 3 times pressing is because like it is a button which have to be pressed only when it's a situation wherein you require a safety. That's why I did like 3 times. It's not like sometimes pressed like 1 time or second time. It has to be like 3 times, and it is for when it's a high probability that you are getting in a risk factor. So just to minimize that risk factor, we have this button.
No, I agree. Once galti se ho sakta hai. So if you do it 3 times, it's possibly, it's more of a conscious attempt that you're trying to reach out. How we reach out is a question that needs to be addressed. And, there will be a number of false alarms doesn't matter. Even if we can save one life, I think it's worth the hassle. Yeah, pretty good, very good, very cool. I like the idea. Arijit, over to you.
Yeah, I really love the idea. I have only one simple suggestion to make. Whenever you create such kind of application and you really intend to upload it into Google Play Store, um, see, Apple have got their own kind of structure and own kind of very profound application checking procedure. But if you are looking for Google and want to upload that into probably as an APK, before that, I will highly suggest kindly check their rules, because you are actually talking to us. Probably we are supposed to go for only judgment. But from my personal experience, if you're working anything related to direct SMS or probably ISOS service, Google have a very nasty way of dealing such kind of things. They sometimes they will approve your application. After that, once they see that this is actually happening with a personal data acceptance, they might close it down without asking any kind of question. Okay, so whenever you create such kind of application, it's nice that the way you're thinking, but the distribution process probably can be different. Why don't you think of making it? I'm not sure about how much application development process that you have in your mind and how capable your teammates are. If you are really serious, why don't you probably think of making it utilizing a couple of market ready API, which will enable you to create such kind of application in an easy way with optimization technique. So probably that will help you guys. I really love that idea, and kudos to you that at this age you're thinking such kind of ideas. Cheers for that.
Wonderful. A big thank you to both the judges. I think some very, very valuable feedback there. And I think you guys would really appreciate this perhaps a little later once you actually get to working. To have your ideas evaluated with such seriousness at such detailed level and to give you such constructive feedback. I mean, right now I am wishing that I had thought about notebook when I was in school and told judges about it. So uh, this is the time when the audience will score you. I would also request the judges to please fill in the scores. Ladies and gentlemen, you would have the poll for KR Mangalam World School Vaishali on your screens now. You're rating them out of 20. You can rate them 5 on 20, 10 on 20, 15 on 20, or 20 on 20. Mr. Bhattacharya, thank you so much. I have your scores.
I've been a good boy and I did it before Arijit did.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much. We are about 40 seconds in, just at the halfway mark. Speaking of democracies, I keep saying that we get a better voting percentage than most democracies can boast of. Almost 75% of the people have voted, a few left. This would be a good time to grab your phones, grab your laptops, and put in the score. Because this does count for 1/6 of the total points that schools are getting. The last 10 seconds. And that's time. Thank you so much, everyone. So now I have the judges' scores. I have the audience polls. Congratulations to the team from KR Mangalam World School Vaishali. Very well done. I will reveal your scores just in a bit. You'll have to give me a few minutes to tabulate them. Before that, I would now like to request the judges. Sirs, you've seen two brilliant presentations. I know you've given you very objective feedback for their specific ideas. But given that you've now seen some young minds, the reason we call this Ignite is because this is where we light the fire. So, Mr. Majumdar, if you would like to go first, sir.
Well, thank you very much for having me over here. Very, very grateful, Shubhayu. I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. I think to organize something like this is also great. So kudos to you. Just one point that I would like to make. I feel very embarrassed when I get called into programs like this, especially when I have to judge young minds such as our friends over here. Because when I was their age, I never had the courage to do anything like this. So I think, as far as I'm concerned, it's very difficult for me to sit down and say he has got this or she has got this. Considering my own very ordinary performance in terms of doing anything bold and courageous when I was in class 11, I think these guys are all champions in their own right. I hope both the groups make it to the super group of 24, as I understand. But even otherwise, it doesn't matter. If you make it, great. If you don't, as far as I'm concerned, and I suspect Arjit will agree, both the ideas have tremendous strength in them, tremendous wings in them. You can make businesses out of both of them, but whether you make businesses out of either of them is not the primary goal. The primary goal, as far as I'm concerned, I think ignite, the way the word is to me, is that it should ignite the spirit of entrepreneurship and an entrepreneurial mindset. And I think I could see that all of you have that. And I think that's important. Whether you build a business now, whether you build a business later, these are all, we'll see how life pans out for you. But it's important that we have the entrepreneurial mindset and get up and do things. That's important. And you must have fun as you go along. Thank you so much, guys. Lots and lots of blessings to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Bhattacharya?
Well, the way you guys are thinking is really remarkable. And to be very honest, I'm really, really impressed at this age. At least you are thinking of doing something on your own. Kudos to you. And to be very honest, whatever path you choose in your career, it doesn't matter whether it's a job or probably whether it's your own entrepreneurial journey, just go with your passion. I really don't care that whether you win or lose this competition or whatever rank you get. Rank doesn't matter in life. In life, it matters that what you become and what you can see in front of your mirror. So wish you good luck in your life and in your career, and keep rocking. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful advice from both the judges. Well, it is almost time to tell you the scores, but me being the moderator, I'm going to enjoy this power and misuse it a little bit by making you wait. Before we tell you your scores, a little bit about Notebook. As I said, we make short videos pertaining to your school curriculum. So whichever class you are in, whichever subject that you are studying, here are these videos that you can watch on any smartphone, any laptop that you have, because it's a streaming service. Think of it like Netflix or Prime, but for your studies. And this is what some of the Notebook videos look like.
नमस्ते बच्चों, नोटबुक में आपका स्वागत है। इस नए वीडियो को आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करते हुए हमें बेहद खुशी हो रही है। हमारा उद्देश्य है परंपरागत शिक्षा को आधुनिक तरीके से पेश करना, ताकि हमारी ये नई पीढ़ी या आप सभी कहीं भी कभी भी इसे आसानी से पढ़ सकें।
Hello students, today we are going to study the story Madam Rides the Bus, written by Valli.
The king, Louis XVI, had come to power in 1774 at only 20 years of age. The king helped the 13 American colonies gain independence from Britain.
Curly brown hair turning permanently black. If you memorize this line, it will help you remember the ratios all your life. How? Let's see. Some people have is a way of remembering sine is equal to perpendicular by hypotenuse. Provides energy for everything you do throughout the day. Next is the nucleus, the brain of the cell. This is where all the secrets are stored. Why do you think you have black eyes as your parents? Aha! Thank the nucleus.
Whoa! What is this? We are gonna drown.
Don't worry, you're not going to drown. This is the cytoplasm.
Sometimes, a fully grown individual, such as Hydra or Planaria or starfish, can give rise to a complete individual from its body parts. Isn't this interesting?
नोटबुक में आप सभी का पुनः स्वागत है।
Well, an event on entrepreneurship would not be complete without inviting the entrepreneur who started Notebook. Achin Bhattacharya is the founder and CEO at Notebook. A chartered accountant by training, Achin was a director at Deloitte prior to starting Notebook. Achin, you have seen two wonderful presentations, two great product ideas being discussed. Over to you to give them what your thoughts.
I think indeed, wonderful presentations. I must appreciate and acknowledge. So I think from our young friends, Global Intern International School Singapore and IIM Mangalam World School Vaishali. No words of praise are enough for all of you. Wonderful. So there are three things that I really look forward to. And I found all three. First and foremost, a lot of self-belief, which to me is very, very important. I think as our esteemed judges also very rightly said, winning or losing and few points here and there, how you perform on the scoring sheet, that's one part of the story. The other part, and the more important part, is whether you really have the courage to back yourself up. So I saw some tech glitches, I saw some great questions coming in, but at each and every stage, I also saw all of you maintaining your composure and coming back with good answers. And also some great communication skills, wonderful articulation. At your age, I must appreciate the fact that this is indeed wonderful. I also thank our esteemed judges, both Mr. Costa Majumdar and Arjit Bhattacharya. Thank you so much, sirs, for your time and for encouraging our young learners. I sincerely thank IIMCIP, our knowledge partners, for their thought leadership in terms of this event. So I think the other aspect, when we discuss about something like entrepreneurship, to me, the other aspect which is very, very important is, and that also reflects when I was looking at this ideas today that our young students presented. The fact is, how well do you know your customer? At times, you need to know him even better than how he or she himself knows what actually they want. The fact is, do you really feel the pulse? Do you really know where the need gap is? I remember reading a book by the legendary investor Warren Buffett, where he made a very interesting comment. He said, and he was asked, how do you spend your afternoons? He said, my afternoons, I usually post lunch, I go out of the office, and I always make it a point, at least 2 to 3 days in a week, that during the afternoon, I spend time in supermarkets and shopping malls. That is where I go in order to understand what the latest consumer trends are. How are people shopping? How are people actually spending their disposable income? What are the products that are in demand? And that's how I make my investment decisions. So I really found it very interesting and insightful, very practical. The other aspect is that the way that the format of this event has been designed. One wonderful aspect, of course, is senior mentors, judges coming in and giving you some great tips, wonderful ideas. The other part is the audience poll, which to me is also very, very important, because in your journey of entrepreneurship, when you actually set sail, it's very important to take everyone along in the journey. And when I say everyone along in the journey, all stakeholders, mark my words. So not shareholders, but all stakeholders, both internal as well as external. So not only your customers or your investors, but equally important to build something which is sustainable, scalable, and win-win for all, including the community that you come from. Because everyone wants a share of the pie. So be it the regulator in form of taxes, be it the community in terms of your CSR initiatives, be it your team members in terms of their career path. So as an entrepreneur, I think it's very important to be a good team player, because that today is very important. It's not about how good you are. So it's also equally important that you identify the right talent and you make more opportunity. If someone can do something better than you, of course, that person has to be given the opportunity to take lead. That to me is very, very important. I indeed thank our esteemed principals for encouraging our endeavor in terms of Ignite. And also, when I say performance like this, a hearty word of congratulations goes out to parents and teachers. When I see such wonderful performance, I know how much of hard work has gone behind this. So really, really wonderful. So all of you have in fact made us really proud. Thank you so much. Over to you, Shubhayu. We indeed look forward to the scores. Thank you.
Well, this is where I end the suspense. These are how the scores stacked up. The Global Indian International School Singapore, the judges give you 79 and the audience give you 18. So 79 out of 100, 18 out of 20. Two very, very good scores. Well, the IIM Mangalam World School, Vaishali, not far behind, 78 from the judges and 13 from the audience. Which brings your total scores. To GIS Singapore, you get 97, and the IIM Mangalam World School, Vaishali, you're at 91. And if I'm not too mistaken, you have now placed yourselves in the top 5 on the leaderboard as it stands today. Well, heartiest congratulations to both teams. Do keep watching the leaderboard because we have a lot of rounds coming up. There would be more movements, and do participate in as many as you can because that would help you sharpen your ideas further. Because when you come back in the semi-final rounds, the teams are expected to up the game a little bit further, improve on their ideas a bit more. Well, it's been a privilege hosting you today. This is me signing off for this session. I would see you again in our second qualifier for today, which happens at 6 p.m. India time. Until then, please take care and goodbye.